go. Okay. Hey guys, how are you? Okay. How are you guys? There we go. Oops. Finally. Okay. How is everyone? How you all going? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. All right. All right. So, people have lots of questions. Just remember, I am doing a medbed Q&A tomorrow, so Sunday, 7 a.m. Sydney time. Just to give you a reference, it is Saturday at 25 to 4, so Saturday at 3:30 p.m. now. Okay, so yeah, work that out. Yeah. So yeah, that's tomorrow's going to be specifically on medbeds. Okay. Let me just move this table without dropping everything. That's better. Yeah. How are you? You've been through so much. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm really good. I get frustrated because people don't listen to what's being said. They don't even open things. They just go, oh, scam. Honestly, I could strangle some people sometimes, but I don't want to end up in prison. And yeah. Just if you're going to have an opinion on something, at least make sure you know what you're talking about. Okay? It's been a day of damage control and explaining a second time because people didn't even bother to open my previous video and they just screamed scam. All they saw was dollar signs and didn't even think twice about anything else. That I may have actually been referring to something totally different, which I was. Oh yeah, scam, this is not Sky. Someone's created a video and put it on YouTube. Oh my god, it's a scam. Rightio. It's This is how misinformation, gossip, which leads to accusations, and etc. starts. By people not actually having any kind of idea what the fuck they're talking about. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I am tired actually. Yeah. Anyway, it's all good. One thing I do like to do, and I know I shouldn't like to do this because it's not the whole love and light thing, which you guys know I don't do anyway. I like to take the sledgehammer to some people to wake
I
up.
had a few of them, so I'm guessing yeah.
So that people actually start listening. You know, this is called the Great Awakening. And I used to think and get a little bit worried about how what I say is received. And then I started watching a TV show, like religiously. And what I observed from that TV show, Australia, England, and America, is that you can get a similar result from doing two totally different things. You can get people to wake up and think, actually switch on, by being all nice to them. It may take 30 years. Eventually they'll get it. Or you can give it to them straight and they'll wake up in 5 seconds. Maybe not 5 seconds, but a hell of a lot quicker. But what I found is that when you trigger people, what you actually do when you trigger people and people get angry, and I did this on purpose this morning in a Telegram group. I deliberately triggered people, and they had no idea who I was, about religion. And a couple of people got really angry, and I loved it. And I'll explain why I love it. No, I don't feed off negative energy. Don't even let your brain go there. I loved it because when people get angry, they brew on the conversation for a day, 2 days, 3 days after the conversation's completed, after it's finished. And what that does is that gets them thinking. It gets them questioning. It gets them thinking outside their own mental prison. It takes the blinkers off. And then seeds are planted. The more angry someone is, the more upset someone is, the deeper that seed goes. And then someone said, as long as they allow the seed in, then that's fine. But if they're triggered, then they've allowed that seed to be planted. Otherwise, they wouldn't be triggered. They wouldn't be getting angry. So I had fun. They were triggered, and I like triggering people because it gets them to think. So when people don't even open a 10-minute video to get information and they just go, oh, it's a scam, I'm going to go to town on them. And being all nice and polite hasn't got me anywhere lately, except more abuse and more bullshit. So I'm going to call people out on their laziness. I'm going to call people out on their bullshit. I'm going to make them think. I'm going to, if you're just going to accuse someone of something, you better have the evidence to back it up, or I'm going to tear it apart so that you have nothing left except the thought of what if. It's time to take the gloves off. It's time to take those gloves off and really talk about consciousness, thinking, being responsible for your words and your actions. No more mollycoddling, no more holding your hand and saying, oh, you know, it's okay, I forgive you for accusing somebody of something they've never done, but keep going because you'll get it one day. fuck that shit. You're going to accuse somebody of something, anyone, of anything, you better have the absolute evidence and proof to back it up. Or I'm going to tear your claims apart. So, it's that simple. And it's about time I stopped thinking everything's beautiful and perfect in this community, because it's not. This community of the RV humanitarians, truthers, is the most toxic, disgusting, hateful community I've ever been in. 10 times worse than the spiritual community. Now that's saying something. So, you know, either put up, in other words, bring forward your evidence, or shut the fuck up. That simple. And for everybody who has been targeted, time to stop turning a blind eye. It's time to start standing up for yourself and turning the tables on these people that just think they can say whatever the hell they want and that there will be no consequences. Because there will be. So we are going to turn the tables on you guys and call you out on your bullshit. If you're too lazy to open a video for two minutes, if you're too lazy to actually find some evidence to back up your claims, we're going to call you out on your bullshit. Because you're comfortable. You're comfortable being hateful. You're comfortable living in accusations. You're comfortable. And we're going to make you uncomfortable. We're going to make you think and hold you accountable for your choices. So, either come up with the goods or fuck off. It's that simple. It's time each and every one of you who has ever made an accusation against someone, cyberbullied anyone, or not done any kind of research, it's about time you were all held accountable. So, bring it on. There's only one way to work through this, and that's to face it head on. Not to turn a blind eye and go, oh, love and light, love and light. Oh, you will get it one day. You're just mentally immature. But okay, because I will set a good example. Fuck that shit. The gloves are off. Bring it on. Or go home. Simple. So, how are you guys? And, yeah. It's time to start calling out the mental indoctrination that is religion and the Bible. The last piece of the cabal that will be taken down with a sledgehammer. If you're still praying to Jesus, if you're still praying, if you're going to church, if you're reading the Bible and living by the Bible and getting down on your knees, I'm going to call out your bullshit. Because your beliefs are holding humanity in enslavement. Don't believe me? Go have a look. Go do some digging and research where the Bible actually came from. Who wrote it? Why is it edited? Go have a look if you're brave enough. Your beliefs in the Bible is keeping the entire humanity enslaved. And I'm going to call you out on that. Because by continuing to follow and pray and go to church, you're keeping the cabal alive, which means you're supporting them. None of this, just respect my beliefs and everything will be fine. You need to respect my beliefs as I respect yours. Bullshit. Your beliefs are holding humanity captive. And I'm going to call you out on it. So, prepare. Because it's going to be a very rocky road. If you're not ready for the 5D new earth, if you're still believing that Jesus is your savior, repent your sins. Oh, there's only one way to heaven, that's through Jesus. You supporting the Bible and praying, wearing the little cross around your neck, this is all an extension of Satanism, because the ones who run your belief system are the very ones that you're calling for their execution. They're the very ones doing the child trafficking. They're the very ones that's doing the satanic rituals. Yeah. They're the ones providing children to be tortured, murdered, skinned alive. They're the ones taking all the adrenochrome to give to your celebrities. So while you're sitting in church praying, people going on behind closed doors, is stuff that would make your hair curl. You'd never sleep again, and yet you're turning a blind eye to all of it. So I'm going to call you out on it. You're continuing to keep this planet enslaved, even long after the cabal has disappeared. Your beliefs will keep them alive and keep this race under enslavement. Time to wake up. The gloves are off. Weren't you triggered by the scammers? Yes, I was. Very triggered by the scammers, having 20 plus individuals use your identity in criminal activity to steal money off the weak, the vulnerable, the sick, the desperate, tends to get one a little triggered. I'm pretty sure you could not understand what that's like. Yeah. If it's one person, okay, you can deal with it. 20 plus? Do you know that an investigation was actually done? Was done into, they did follow the scammers. They did follow the money where people were actually paying. And this is a statement from I believe, a retired private investigator who followed the money himself. The investigating has already been done and found that the real scammers are located in the White Center district of Seattle, Washington, USA, with multiple email accounts that through VPN going in Kenya, South Africa, Eastern Europe, and the USA. The Seattle Police Department and King County Sheriff's Department refused to follow up on any information from investigators and PayPal. Oh, that's convenient, isn't it? Washington. Now let's think, what the hell's in Washington? Think about it. Think why these scammers are allowed to continue. I've been investigated by the police. I'm still out here. Still allowed to continue. Why? Why? Because I am clean. I have nothing to do with these criminals. These criminals go all the way to the top in Washington. Why do you think Facebook won't remove them? Why do you think Telegram won't remove them? Have a think about it. I'll give you a few minutes. I heard through my contacts the Galactic Federation is in talks regarding medical. I hope it relates to medbeds. Good. Thank you for that, Robert. Sky is a nice person, not a scammer, but she's very delusional. Nothing she ever said or predicted ever happened, and that's a fact. She knows that too. El Mirador, don't waste my time with your bullshit. If you can't see what's going on, then fuck off. We need to remember even light workers are not doormats. Exactly. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can say to someone is fuck off. And I'm going to be doing that a lot. Because I'm sick of this community. I'm sick of the lack of investigation or research. Even opening a single video is too much for someone and some people. So I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. Don't come to me with your rubbish. Not interested. If you're going to come to me with your rubbish, then take your rubbish and fuck off. That's simple. Not interested. Like that one. Delusional. Nothing she said has ever predicted or ever happened. You need to open your eyes and stop wasting everyone's time with your lack of research skills. Yes, it sometimes shows the toxicity, but to me this is great. It's separating the chaff from the wheat, so to speak. It's testing us to see if we're really ready to be the humanitarians. That's right. And sometimes being a humanitarian means that you have to make the tough decisions. Because when you actually do have your funds and people know what you have access to, you're going to be a target for a lot of so-called desperate people that aren't desperate at all. They just want what you have, and they will play on your emotions. And sooner or later, you'll get sick of that, and you'll have to say no. Great time to practice. The Great Awakening, no more bullshit. That's right. People do need to be called out on their petty behaviour, and some comments they make are pathetic, rude and childish. Sending virtual love and hugs. Yeah. No more. No more. There is just no excuse for it. There really isn't. Seattle is so liberal and stupid it's not even funny. It's my home state, but I don't even recognize it anymore. Yeah. Ignorance is no excuse anymore.
I got
That's
you a
right.
present. Yeah.
Exactly. You are not responsible for any of this. You've been saying for years this is free and for us to be discerning. Yep. Don't hold back. Oh, you're not. No, I've been holding back for years. Because I had this ridiculous belief that I had to be a certain way. I had to be more spiritual, more light, more compassionate, more loving. Or sometimes being the most compassionate is punching someone in the face to get them to wake the fuck up. So, here we are. The gloves are off. Just don't come to me with your bullshit. The camping event for the RV is revaluation of currencies. Okay? The RV is revaluation of currencies. Not all religions. If you pray to somebody then yes, your religion is included. If you follow in someone's footsteps, even if it's a celebrity, even if it's me, yes, you are indoctrinated. You are under their control. Most of the time, you put yourself under their control. And it has nothing to do with the person or the book. It's you. The moment you pray, even praying to archangels, you're placing yourself beneath them, which you are not. You are equal to all. Equal. This is the problem. When someone puts themselves under you, they have diminished themselves. They've stepped out of their light. If you put yourself under the government, you're giving them permission to rule you. If you put yourself under Jesus, you're giving the cabal permission to rule you. If you walk with Jesus, with him, like he states very clearly, get off your knees, I am your brother. But those of you who follow the stupidly thick, ridiculous book, forget that part. Turn a blind eye to where he states very clearly, I am your brother. Instead, you go against what he says and you get on your knees and pray to him. Talk about an eye roll moment. Yeah. So, get off your knees. The longer you keep on your knees, the longer this awakening will take, the more you keep us enslaved. You go to church? Great, go for the healing. You know, the walls, the way churches are built is for healing, for frequency. And then the ones came in and took over, created a book. Oh, believe this, believe this. And so you do. You forget everything your ancestors knew about standing in your sovereignty, connecting with the earth, frequencies, connection with spirit. And you go, please, I am at your mercy. Talk about a cult mentality. Yeah, you can't be nice all the time. Sometimes shoving it down people's throat is the way to go. And that's where I'm at the moment. So I'm calling out all the bullshit. And I don't know about you guys, but I take an extreme offense to those who wish for us to remain in mental slavery and physical slavery. So I could respect your beliefs, but then I would be disrespecting myself and disrespecting humanity. One thing in the spiritual world we're taught is to respect everyone. If you don't agree, then just ignore and move on. I've said it many times, I've taught it. But by just moving on and not calling it out is actually saying it's okay. Because sometimes not reacting is reacting. And by not calling it out, you're agreeing with it. The world will know the truth soon. Religion is the last thing that will be dismantled. Your beliefs are in for a rude shock. Better get used to it. Because it's coming. It's coming. That's right. Whatever you worship, you become a slave to. Yep. Now, I'm not saying turn your back on Jesus. I'm saying get off your knees and stand beside him. So don't even go there. I know the religious people will say, oh, Sky said she wants you to turn your back on Jesus and stop, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying get off your knees and stand beside him. Stop allowing people and a book that you don't even know who wrote. You think you do because someone told you, or because it says so-and-so wrote this. Stop allowing letters on a page to control you. Stop allowing someone in a little collar standing at the front of a stolen building tell you how to live your life. Even marriage is all about the cabal's control over you. Everyone who was married and says, the vows from hold the Bible or in a church, whatever, you're under the cabal's control. It's literally that simple. It really is. So, welcome to the Great Awakening. Religion and spirituality are two different things. Not really. Religion is a mind control program brought on and developed by the Cabal to enslave humans' minds. Spirituality is just another box of enslavement, because what spirituality teaches you is you need to be nice. You need to be all love and light and fluffy clouds and purple rainbows. Oh, God forbid you stand up for yourself. You're not spiritual at all. It's full of fear, it's full of judgment, and it's full of ego. There's nothing nice about spirituality. It's when you actually step out of spirituality, step out of religion, that you find consciousness and creation. This in turn equals oneness. This is where the 5D new earth is. Oneness. This is 5D. If you're worshipping, if you're praying, if you're even praying to archangels, oh, Archangel Michael, please protect me. It's not 5D. You still haven't found your own light yet. You're still standing under somebody else. You're still placing someone above you, which means you're still controlled. Still. So religion and spirituality is practically the same thing. Fear, judgment, control. What's the first thing spirituality teaches you? Connect with your higher self, meditate. You need to do this, you need to do that. What does consciousness teach you? You don't need to meditate. You need to become. You need to be. What does religion teach you? Go to church every Sunday, pray. For what? Forgiveness for what? For being human? For having an experience? For learning? You're born a sinner, right? Wrong? What a cult. What an absolute cult. Teaching everybody that just the fact that they were born makes them they need to repent. The only way to heaven is through Jesus? Are you fucking kidding me? What a load of bullshit. That is a cult. If you don't like it, have a look at the definition of a cult. The red wine, the blood of Christ. It's like eat the flesh, representing eating the flesh of Christ and the blood of Christ. Satanism. Satanic cult. It's evil. It truly is evil. And everyone's going, oh, I'm religious. Oh, I'll pray to Jesus. Yeah, okay, if you say so. Right. Am I trying to destroy your religious belief? Bloody oath I am. Your religious belief is holding humanity captive. So yeah, I am trying to destroy your religious belief. Get over it. Get off your knees and stand with Jesus instead of under him. So yes, I am trying to destroy your beliefs. I'm trying to poke holes in them so you can actually see that you're a slave. Whether you like it or not, you're a slave. Sorry? No. The truth hurts. So, yeah. We should not have teachers and students. No. No teachers, no students. Because you already have all the access to all the knowledge. You just have to find the right frequency. Which means you've got to get rid of all your beliefs, all your lack of confidence, all your trauma, all your bullshit that you carry around. Me too. So that you can find the right frequency, so that you can get everything you need to become who you are, an essence of God, creation itself. Consciousness. Ever since my husband passed, I've had to learn to not be bullied. That's right. People don't stand up for themselves until they're forced to. And then it feels so freeing. Is it true that under the New Age system, you only do what you're passionate about, no house cleaning? Of course you're going to have to do your house cleaning, unless you want to live in a filthy house. There's some things that you will have to do, but you won't have to work because you'll be encouraged to follow your passion, follow what excites you, and that's your living. So there won't be work. There'll be what you love to do. Then you'll have to, of course, clean your house, unless you have a friend who loves house cleaning. And then they'll be doing what they love doing. So, can medbeds relieve ISM, like addictions, alcoholism, or do you feel they can only be recovered through spiritual growth and awakening? The medbeds can heal the physical addiction, but you need to get to the root of why you're addicted in the first place, and you need to work with that. Okay. So you'll go into the medbed physically and mentally addicted, and then you'll come out mentally still thinking that you need it. We need to figure out why you still think you need it, or why you think you needed it in the first place, and deal with those emotions and beliefs. Then you no longer need it. And you can do that now. You don't need the medbed to do that for you. But people put that in the too hard basket. Yep, it's not what they told us about religion. That's right. I missed you. Any idea when we'll start to see the medbeds? You'll start to see the medbeds the moment the redemption appointment notifications are released. They go hand in hand. So if you're wondering about the medbeds, start looking for the notifications. That's where it starts. Yep, I said to a friend one time to look as Jesus as a friend rather than someone higher. That's right. Remember, you can always learn from these other dimensional beings who is more connected with more knowledge and more experience than us. But ultimately, they're just going to do the same thing as what I'm doing. Questioning you. Getting you to answer your own questions. That's all they do. They don't come along and give you a whole bunch of information and then, explain everything to you. They will open the door and say, there you go. Go through. I'll wait here. And you go in there going, what the hell do I do? And they go, I don't know. This is your journey. But I'm here if you need me. And that's how it should be. It's exactly how it should be. I'd love to help with the med beds. I used to be an RN. It's a long time ago though. We're going to need as many people, good people, as we can. So the disciples were martyrdom for no reason. Yep. And just think, the people who worship Jesus today are exactly the same people who would call for his execution. Let me explain. People who worship, they only worship when they're comfortable, when they're told what they want to hear that reaffirms their beliefs. But Jesus doesn't do that. None of the higher dimensional beings do that. They will all poke holes in your beliefs to get you to think broader, for you to open your mind. So they push you out of your comfort zone. So while you're worshipping Jesus, if you actually met him, you would be calling for his head, because he would make you feel uncomfortable by getting you to think. Think about it. You people who go to church, pray, go to heaven through Jesus, repent your sins, you're the same people that would call for his execution. It's kind of sad, but it's true. I know people that are going to be listening to this go, no, that's not true. Oh my God, I can't believe she said that. Oh my God, what a horrible person. I'm so offended, blah, blah. Come on, let's face it. I've only ever taught exactly what Jesus teaches, what all the higher dimensionalists teach. Why shoot me and praise them when we're teaching the exact same thing? Exact same thing, which is 5D consciousness. So yeah, you would. You would. Spirituality is a personal relationship with God, in my opinion. Unless you're asking archangels for help, or spirit guides for guidance. But it's not a relationship. It's a bow down to. Step out of that. Okay, step out of spirituality, step out of religion, and step into yourself. Yourself. Okay? Become what it is you're praying to. Become everything that you possibly can be. Stand up. Stand in your light. Stand in your power. That's right, there's no need to pray. Who are you praying to? Who's on the other end? Source. What are you? Source. You're praying to yourself, so why pray at all? Become it. Stand in your power. Stand in your truth. Stand in your honesty and integrity. Be that being that you're praying to, because it's only you, and it's only ever will be you. I'm you. You're me. Everyone's you. Everybody. There is no one outside yourself. So who are you praying to? You have a personal relationship with yourself. No one else. Nothing else. It's all you. I get it, but some allow the voices and downloads to run their lives. What's the difference? They know, still can be totally lying to you. Yeah. So, if you get a download of something, check it out. Feel, is that information correct? Does it resonate with you? If there's any kind of, just because it's given a download, you're given a download from spirit or whoever, it doesn't mean it's accurate. Are you interpreting it correctly? What is the message? The more you advance, the more Spirit and the Galactics will test you. They'll challenge you. Will they lie to you? Shit, yeah, they will. They will, because they want to test your intuition. They want to see if you're standing in your own truth and your own power, your own light. When you follow everything that Spirit or the Galactics tell you, you're still under them. You're not sovereign. You're not thinking for yourself. You're just going along like a lost little sheep, doing as you're told. That's it. That's it. Galactics can come here right now and say to everybody, you need to pray for 20 minutes every single morning before you do anything. 95% of you will go and do it. 5% will say, well, hang on, why? What's the purpose? Still the same thing as religion. Exactly the same. Spirituality is the same. Spirit tells you what to do, you go and do it. The Bible tells you what to do, you go and do it. Exactly the same, there's nothing different. It's just a different topic, but it's all the same. The demons are real and so is Source. The demons are Source. They're just a different frequency. They're just a different version of Source than what we're used to. It's all Source. Is the wizard an alien? Who's the wizard? Gonna need more info on that. The tools help ones that are just awakening. There is nothing wrong with that. They can protect you until you're of higher consciousness, 5D. I agree on religion. Yeah, but if we're teaching them to ask for protection, then we're teaching them to enslave themselves and then have to come back later to get them out of that slave system. We should be teaching people and helping people and guiding people right from the beginning. Otherwise, we're just putting them in a slave system only to go and have to rescue them later. Where's the sense in that? Can't comfort the hurting because your vibrations will crash down. Only if you let it. That's where you need to be in control and responsible for your own vibrations. If you comfort the hurt and allow your vibrations to go down, then you're not in control. You're not being responsible for your own vibrations. I say control. Control your frequency, control your thoughts, control your mind, control your emotions. I'm still learning control, but that's the idea. Then, no matter what anyone says or does, will make no difference, because you have control over yourself. You are personally responsible for your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your words, your actions, everything. And if you don't have that control, chaos. This is your best chat ever. Thank you, Julie. 10 p.m. Arizona. 10 p.m. I'm going to be watching the Nations Cup cross country horses. What's to say the downloads people are getting are truth? Exactly. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? No, this is not the 7 a.m. Q&A medbeds. That comes tomorrow. It's nearly 4:30 p.m. Saturday. So, I don't know. You do the time. I was feeling guilty because of the argument I was involved in on Facebook earlier. I told that lady to F off because of her refusal to research and discern. Thanks for echoing my feelings. Exactly. If you're not going to do any research and you're going to accuse someone of something, then you need to take your accusations and fuck off. Don't waste our time. Because when you accuse somebody with no proof whatsoever, you're telling the world that you're kind of pathetic. Really, you're a shitty person and you're pathetic. Yes, I said it. Because people who research actually take the time, don't make the accusations in the first place. Because they know better, they've done the work. They're not lazy and entitled and keyboard warriors and bullshit artists. They're just parroting an opinion that probably someone else has come up with because they haven't done the work. And then they're trying to bullshit their way through. Sorry, I'm going to tear them apart. Tear their bullshit apart. You don't have proof? Get the fuck out of my life. Simple. No more time for bullshit. Are you doing regular programs since White Hat's delayed? Yes, I am. Do medbeds end karma, contracts, and astrological lessons? Gina, only if you have completed your soul contract. If you have learned enough and you are ready, then it will end the contracts and all of that. What will happen to existing church buildings? Hopefully torn down. Hopefully. There's been so much bad shit going on in church buildings. Hopefully they're torn down and turned into parks. And new frequency healing buildings built. Healing centres. Medbed centres. But the ones there now? No wonder I felt sick the moment I entered the very first church I ever went into for my cousin's wedding. Literally felt like I was going to throw up the moment I walked over through the doorway. And I watched too many ghost horror haunting possession movies, thought I was possessed, and then I learned the truth. No, I wasn't possessed. Not at all. I was sickened by the energy of the place and what they do. Yeah, yuck. Here's a question right out there. Can medbeds help our animals with fleas? As you know, Australia can be bad. Just asking, even though we do everything natural, these little mongrels are a worry. They can kill the fleas, but I believe also the flea treatments that the vets and the products and all today will disappear. Eventually. It's not going to be overnight. Eventually. And it will be totally natural and totally healthy for the animal. So it won't kill any fleas. It will just prevent the flea from being able to be in the dog's or the pet's environment, meaning on their body. So no harm to the fleas, no harm to the dog or cat, whatever. So, do you know how long medbed training is? Vicky, that totally depends on your previous experience. Are you a doctor? Then it'll be pretty short. Are you a nurse? A little bit longer. Do you have no medical experience? Then it'll be a lot longer. Totally depends on your level of experience in the medical field. Do medbeds remove entities, and where do they go? You can remove entities now. You don't need to wait for a medbed. They can identify them, but why not remove them now? It's easier. I've known since a very young child that so much of what I was told about religion and life was all wrong. I've always been one who challenges the norm beliefs. Yeah, good for you, Judy. When will medbeds be available for horses? I have a 39-year-old who needs teeth and regeneration. Will that be available? The animal healing chambers will be available the same time as the medbeds. Exactly the same time. Okay? No need to pray anymore. That's right. I've studied the med beds from all the people in the SSP for years on Gaia. I appreciate all you do and look forward to meeting you someday soon. I'll be doing huge med bed projects. Well, good on you, Craig. Well done. Greetings from Orlando, Central Florida. A big hug and many blessings. Thanks for all the information. Nice to meet you too, Rosa. You're opening my mind. Good, which is the whole point of the chat today. So no one can do harm, no judgment. Everything's neutral until you put a belief to it. Then it is whatever you decide it to be. Oh, West Coast Wizard Axel Vassar. Well, I can't comment on him because I don't know, and even if I did, it's not my place to comment. You'll need to ask him. Okay. Your reasoning is refreshing and liberating. I used to be very involved in the church many years ago, but always felt the fakery of it all. After my mum passed, I changed my mindset. Good for you, Sharon. King of Sweden. What about him? Do you think it's happening before November? I don't care for the elections. I thought it was going to happen 3 years ago. I'm a bit like Mark Z. My gut is not entirely reliable. Come to think of it, no one's is. No one's been right yet. So we can't call out any particular person as a fraud or a fake or giving false dates because every single person has been wrong so far. Just putting it out there. Who is source to you? Who is source? Source is you. Creation, consciousness. All that is, everything that has ever existed or in existence or will exist. Everything. Everything is source. Thoughts, emotions, energy. Physical, non-physical. Trees, ants, bees, flies, maggots, scammers, criminals, cabal, all source. It's hard with control when you get triggered. Yeah, practice. That's why you use social media to your benefit. Don't just scroll social media and just look at pretty pictures. I go on social media specifically to get triggered so I can learn to control, especially flat earth. That's the topic that gets me every single time. I will always lose control when it comes to flat earth without fail. So more practice is needed, meaning spending more time in the flat earth groups. Those people are crazy. Anyway, the church in my neighborhood had a huge posters of Taylor Swift outside, 3 of them, and they preach leftist politics from the pulpit. Taylor Swift, anybody who has that amount of publicity has done more than sell her soul, if you get my drift. I had to protect my frequency after the crazy woman stormed into my house. Indeed, that's a bit scary. So there is no accountability. We are all sovereign. Your accountability is to yourself. Literally, you are responsible, which means what you think, what you feel, your emotions, your actions, your choices, all come back to you. You are accountable for all of it. All of it. If age regression is only available to people of higher consciousness, will wrinkles be removed from a session in the med bed for a lower consciousness? Yes. So if you're 80, okay, and you just have a general healing, you'll probably go back to around a really healthy 40 or 50-year-old. Okay? I love that you're true and upfront with what you talk about. Yeah. And I'll never be any different, Frank. If you're going to beat around the bush and you're going to just play mental games and just love and light, oh, it's so beautiful. You're not being genuine. And you won't last. Because everybody's exposed sooner or later. Be genuine. if something pisses you off, do something about it. Don't turn a blind eye. And this is why I've come back to being public. Don't turn a blind eye. Because it's not okay. When can people start training for medbeds? Vicky, people already are. I know quite a few people, quite close contacts, who have sent me messages. Oh, so-and-so, my cousin's husband or wife, or my husband or wife, my brother, my sister, and my aunt is actually training on the medbeds. They're under NDAs. People already are training. So it's not when, they are. Yeah, conviction prior to investigation. Someone said earlier that Review or Reviewed or whatever the hell it was has done several videos outing me. Outing me for what? Where's the proof? Just someone with a big mouth and no evidence to back it up. Yeah? Bring your evidence. But nope, they don't, because they can't. And they won't, because they'll be proven to be wrong, and then they're stuck with a dilemma. Do I swallow my pride and my ego and admit that I was wrong? Or do I knowingly continue condemning someone who I know to be innocent to save my own face? So people won't go and investigate because they don't want to be in that position to have to make that choice. Because their ego screams at them, no, it's not true. And they know karma will come back and bite them in the ass if they continue with their lies. So it's best not to investigate. We'll just leave it as it is and just continuing condemning someone with no proof whatsoever. It's easier for them. It's very cowardly. They are cowards. Too afraid to face the truth because their ego might be hurt. Extreme cowardice. Okay. Why do you say these things to the people who support you and love you? It's not us who dish you. Gloria? Because it's not people who support me that watch these videos. That's why. And you know I'm not saying it to you. Okay? Will you ever get married? No. Absolutely not. I have no intention at all of joining under a controlled system. What you guys must understand, those of you asking, can medbeds heal this, can medbeds heal that? Medbeds will heal, cure, or dramatically improve every single thing that is physical. Everything. You don't need to ask about, what about this or what about that? If it's physical, the answer is yes. You know, if it's part of your body, doesn't matter what part, the answer is yes. Okay? It's only when you have emotional trauma, you know, even trauma from an accident. You know, let's say someone had a car accident, now they're too scared to drive a car. Their body will be healed from the accident, but their mind will need help to get over it, to work through it. Okay? So if someone's had a brain injury and they've got personality changes, etc., those personality changes will disappear because the cause is a physical cause. Okay? So it's only with emotional, mental things like that that don't have a physical cause that will need to be worked through. Okay? But everything physical will be cured, healed, or dramatically improved. Okay? You know, I've been watching you for a long time now. I've never said anything. I'm kind of just tuned in on your stuff. like that, I just want to say thank you for all you do. Thank you, Shane. You have so many beautiful people who love and take care of you. Thank you, Tanya. Have you heard of the machine called Spooky 2, supposed to be very effective? I have heard of Spooky 2. I know nothing about it because I'm not interested, actually. I'm not interested in any other medical technology. I'm really not even interested in med beds. It's just what I do. Yeah, heard good reports, but I haven't really taken much notice. And I know you're right about the med beds because I've already advertised them, so you're right about everything. Not sure what you mean about you've already advertised them, but okay, thank you, Shane. I love coming to your live videos. I've learned so much and so informative. Thank you. I clear myself and whatever and send it off with archangels and Yeshua, send the darkness off with them to deal with so they don't get on others. I'm seeing God without religious lenses. You don't need to send it to anyone. You just need to raise your frequency out of its reach. This is the thing. You cannot experience what you are not the vibration of. You can't experience the darkness in a higher vibrational state. It's only when you lower your vibration that you experience the darkness. So, raise your frequency out of its reach. Oh, I mean, they already advertised them. Oh, okay. Recently I opened my heart to benevolent beings and welcomed them. About a week later, one himself known to me. I refer to him as Buddy. I'm learning to communicate via mental telepathy. Cool. Good. Can you still buy Zim so I will have the opportunity to do humanitarian projects? Yeah, I believe so. Believe so. So teenagers can roam around from flower to flower. My mind went to a really dirty place then. So I'm gonna skip over that comment because I don't like where my mind went. How do you get rid of entities asking for a friend? First, you have to raise your frequency. You got to deal with your trauma and get out of fear. Get your mind in order, and the entity will disappear. They will go because they don't like it when you have control. So you got to fix yourself, and then they will leave because they can't control you, so no point sticking around. A lot of people will disagree with that, but I don't care. Will your relatives recognize you? If they know that you're having a medbed procedure before you do, then you may need a quick reintroduction. But yeah. Don't let people like that lower your vibration. You know you're right, and that's all that really matters. Exactly. One of the highest vibrations is authenticity. Yeah, exactly. I've been following you now for 4 years. I have told people the truth about medbeds. They laughed at me in disbelief. Now let's see when it comes out. Exactly. How can we get on the training list? You can't. Not yet. Can medbeds download languages into one's brain? Yeah, easy. Don't fall into their category and let them lower your vibrations like that. You know what you say is right. You know you're correct, and that's all there is to it. Yeah, exactly. Do you pray before meals? No. It's your intention. You don't need to pray. It's your intention. Just be grateful. That's it. Simply be grateful. People make life so complicated. It's not. When you eat, be grateful. You don't have to say thanks. You don't have to pray. You don't have to change the frequency because you're guilty about eating meat. Just be grateful you have it. That's all that's needed. let's say if a person wanted to enlarge a personal organ, would they have to be high frequency? They would have to be a higher frequency than just a general healing. But yes. Thank you for putting up with all the background noises. I'm getting used to it. They don't really bother me much anymore unless I'm doing a class. Then I do get triggered because it's, yeah. I want to speak perfect English. Can medbeds download English into my brain? Simple, yeah. My husband is a doctor and I am a medical MSW. And we want to train on medbeds, maybe open a centre eventually. How do we get started? Amy, if you want to open a centre, then you will need to have foreign currency like Zim, especially Zim, dinar, that kind of currency, to exchange at a redemption appointment. And then you'll need to go to a 3 to 5 day conference to be approved to have medbeds in your centre. So it starts with exchanging the foreign currency so that you can get humanitarian funds, so you can afford the buildings, pay for staff, and pay for transport and supplies and everything else that goes with it. Okay, that's what the humanitarian funds is for, is to fund the centre, to buy it, to build it, to fund it, to pay staff, to pay everything. It's not, for the medbeds, it's to pay for everything that goes with the medbeds. Okay. So for people that don't have foreign currency to exchange for humanitarian funds, then unfortunately you either have to find someone who does or work in a centre. Okay. It is a YouTube channel called Reviewed that says guys put up videos even after she has said there won't be more, or the self-reveal after getting into one in December that didn't materialise. Yeah, Steve, I know. It's pretty pathetic. We've all been used in this war as disinformation agents, as bait. And unfortunately, that was one of the times that I was used as bait. And I was used as bait for me to put out that information, which I did believe to be true because I spoke to them about it for 9 months. And they wanted to see if anyone would follow me so they would know if it was actually safe to release the medbeds or not. So I was used as bait. And I copped a lot of shit over that. I was extremely disappointed and hurt that it didn't happen and I was used as bait. But I guess they needed to know if we would be followed when we have our medbed procedure. So, people are quick to condemn without actually knowing any kind of fact. They're just happy to flap off all the bullshit. They're more about getting haters to agree with them than actually getting the truth. But call themselves truthers. How ironic is that? Not interested in the truth, but oh, I'm a truther. No, you're not. You're a bullshit garbage can. What advice would give someone who is 5D path humanitarian but is married to a person who espouses the Cabal, 3D church religion, dogmas, doctrines? Good luck. Unfortunately, many families will actually split over this. I'm not saying put it out there, but it will. It will happen. A lot of people that are very religious minded will not want to see the truth. They will want to continue with what's comfortable to them. And if you're on the 5D path, then you will vibrate out of that environment. And that kind of sounds weird, but 5D and religion do not mix at all. Not even a little bit. So I wish you the best. That's all I can say. If you're choosing the 5D humanitarian path and they're choosing religion, then it just doesn't match. Is it true that in order not to reincarnate, you can't have children? No. Where did that come from? I'm pretty sure you didn't create that, Maria. Whoever said that is just... We'll leave it at that. Not true. Now, every bit of information for the medbeds is also valid for the animals. The only difference with animals is there will be less counselling. And if the animals do need counselling, which they really won't have counselling, they'll have like animal behaviour therapist or something like that. Okay. For animals, will be pretty quick and easy. Will be pretty much in. They'll have their scan mostly while they're in bed. They won't actually have a separate scan. They'll just go on the bed. Scan will be done. Talk to the owner about it, and procedure will be done immediately. And they're out. Yeah, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours later, whatever. Okay, so animals will be the same day, unless you have an animal that, like a wild horse, a dangerous bull, you know, a lion, something that is much harder to handle. Is a high vibration required to access the medbeds? To be healed? No. To work with them? Yes. Because they are 5D technology. And if you are conscious enough, you will be able to connect with the beds telepathically or consciously. But to be healed? No. And just before any of the religious people come on and start bashing later, you do not have to give up your faith to be healed in a medbed, or your beliefs. Your beliefs have nothing to do with being healed. However, you cannot worship and be in 5D at the same time, which to work with the beds, you need to be at least on your way to 5D. You cannot be standing under somebody and work in that environment. But to be healed, doesn't matter your beliefs and it doesn't matter your frequency, as long as you haven't sold your soul. Then you're fine, which is why the Cabal can't use the medbeds. They've had them for their own purpose, but that's why they need adrenochrome, because they can't use the medbeds. They sold their soul. If they could, then they wouldn't need to traffic kids and torture kids. Okay? Is it true that you don't follow the light after your death, but turn the opposite way and ask to go to your place of origin? If you go to the light, people say it's a soul trap. What is a soul trap? Is believing. Okay? When you pass, there is only one way to go. And that's returning to source, returning to your origin. So return to it without fear. Because you will know. You will know. Okay? How can we contact you via email? My email is info, I-N-F-O, .camelot, C-A-M-E-L-O-T, at proton.me. Yeah. I'll put it in the description of this video when it's finished processing. Can the vax be healed through medbeds? Can the DNA be reversed? Yes, yes, and yes. If only people realize how much internal strength it takes to do what you do. It's unfreaking believable. These morons who crucify you wouldn't have the courage to do that. You're to be commended. Oh, thank you, Axel. I went vegetarian trying to raise my frequency. Raising your frequency starts here. Okay? It's the mind. Clean up your thoughts. Get more confidence in yourself. Release judgment. Release fear. Do what makes you happy. Stay away from idiots. Your frequency will naturally raise. That's all. Be yourself. Okay? Your frequency will raise naturally. Do we take our pets with us? No. You, each individual person and each individual animal needs their own appointment. Okay? Own appointment. If your pet has an appointment the same time you do, then yes, you take your pet. If they don't, then you don't. Okay? Can you get any pictures, photos of the beds? Can you post them? No. They're still classified military technology. Anyone who has evidence tends to disappear along with the evidence. They'll be revealed very shortly. Okay. And even if I could, I wouldn't, because I don't want to disappear, and possibly with the rest of the family. And people have. So I'm not going to be that silly. How long approximately will we be ascending through 4D before we ultimately arrive to 5th? That depends totally on you and your development. Everyone's different. Okay. How many Zim dollars do you need for a redemption appointment? Whatever you have. Whatever you can get. Could you make a video about your personal story in the SSP? How you came to remember and so on and so forth? How are you in touch with the Alliance telepathically, etc.? Yeah, I can do that. I was going to say, Shane, you have to wait till they're doing the gym before you can cash them in. Had my mind thinking. Then, I mean, you have to wait till they're doing the Zim before you can cash them in. Yes. Keep up the good work. Hopefully this all comes to fruition very soon. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there. It's nearly an hour and a half. So, good chat, and just think about what I said about being authentic and standing in your truth. Okay, regardless of what opposition you face. That's one thing that I learnt a while ago with the whole Ginger saga, is I was forced to stand there on my own with no support and face an entire army of people coming at me, of people doing and saying the most ridiculous things. Stand in your truth no matter what army you face, no matter how much support you have, because you can do it, and this is you standing in power, in your light, in your sovereignty, no matter what battles you face. Have the courage to stand there knowing that you are enough, that you are everything. Be yourself. And don't submit to anyone else telling you anything else. Just be you. And you'll always be successful. Alright, take care everyone, and I will see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Sydney time. Right now it is 5 p.m. Saturday, okay? So enjoy.